So my name's Tony Brook, and I'm a founder member of Spin alongside my partner Patricia. We set up in 1992 in the middle of what was then one of the worst recessions that Britain had known. There's been a few superseding that since then. I think at the time I felt that I really needed to give setting up a studio a chance, at least to have a go at it. We set up from a one-bedroom flat in Streatham, the glamour of it all. And we basically worked from that.
We wanted to move into a larger place, and we wanted to expand the business, and we still wanted to work from home. So we moved out the flat and we moved into a house in Clapham, where the business grew to a degree where it was taking over 3 floors of the house. In fact, when Tony had a problem with his back and he was laid up for a couple of months, we were having clients' meetings in our bedroom.
Spin was set up because I wanted to do more than record sleeves. I've been doing record sleeves since I left college. My first job was record sleeves, and I did record sleeves for about 10 years. Not very good ones, but I wasn't trained to do record sleeves. I was more interested in conceptual thinking and ideas than I was necessarily come up with a cool bit of type for a new band. And so when we set up Spin, that was really the ethos behind it, was everything but record sleeves. What's out there that we could do? And so I was kind of interested and engaged in everything at that time.
Well, we started out with the clients we had, and at that time Tony had brought to the studio some music clients, and I had brought some fashion trade clients from the PR agency that I'd been working with at the time. But one of the main reasons that Tony wanted to set up Spin was that he wanted to work without the restrictions of the music industry and the formats that it works on. At the time, everything was a CD, so everything was square. There was very little opportunity to, explore identities or brochures or posters or animation or, there were so many things that Tony wanted to experiment with and explore and develop his work. So that's primarily why we set up Spin.
Over the first 2 or 3 years, it was a kind of moving away from just doing record sleeves and starting to work with other clients, some more corporate clients and different kinds of clients. And then, as that was moving quite slowly, I really hit upon by luck more than judgment really, on the thing that I guess kind of defines us as a studio, which is we started doing self-initiated projects. And the first self-initiated project we did was based on the word spin, and it was to try out the new interactive technologies that were coming through. So we were working on CD-ROMs, which are ancient history now, but at the time were the future. And so we did a CD-ROM based on the word spin, just to try out the technology. All aspects of it were relating to spin in some lateral way. So we had a spin radio, which I remember it had "You Spin Me Right Round, Baby Right Round," like a record baby on it, and some other things that I can't really remember now. And having made this CD-ROM, we were thinking about what are we going to do with it. And so I started to show it around, and one of the places that we went to see with it was Diesel, and they really liked it, and they were just launching 55 DSL at the time, which was their sportswear range, and thought that this might be a good idea, this kind of eclectic CD-ROM with all different aspects of the brand within it could be a really nice idea for launching it. So they commissioned us to do that. We made a CD, and that to our amazement, won loads of awards. It got a D&AD silver. It was picked up in America. It was picked up by newspapers here, national newspapers and magazines and stuff. And so this self-initiated project, which started out with something that was just a little experiment, ended up turning into a job. And from Diesel, Levis came along and they employed us to do things, and it sort of all expanded. When we moved into Kennington, we exploded really, and we eventually became around 35 people, and our clients at that point were Diesel and Levi's and Nike and Channel 4 and all these big clients. But then we made a decision that we wanted to be more design focused, or just purely design focused. That with big clients like that, often comes rollouts where you've got to take on European and pan-European and global jobs where the pure delivery becomes overwhelming, and so that wasn't really where I saw us going. I wanted a bespoke, small, focused design studio. And so we made a decision to do that. We made a decision to be that, and which is how we've ended up in this studio here now. And so there are 4 designers in Spin, including myself, and there are 2 designers for unit editions that work on unit editions, although everybody at Spin works on unit editions. And we have Sam, who is our studio manager, and Trish, who deals with a lot of the clients and what have you. So it's a small, bespoke studio now. Recent clients that we've worked with that really spring to mind are people like Matthew Hilton, the furniture designer, Dan Pearson, who's a garden designer. He writes for The Observer and has been on telly, that was a lovely job to do. We just worked with a small gallery called Sim Smith, which has been great. Really, I really like that solution. We tend to work with architects too a lot as well. We're just working with an architect in New York called Jim Bieber, and that's been a great project for us.
I love coming to work. The best thing about Unit and being part of Spin is I love coming to work. I love the people. I like what we've created. Tony and I have created an atmosphere that is friendly, professional. It's a helpful environment. It's got the right principles. It's got the right attitude for us. It's one of the things I really like about it is our working days are ideally 9:30 or 9 till 6:30. We don't ask people to stay late at night unless they have to, because it's important to get on with the rest of your life too. It's important to have that balance.